Hello people of the tubes. Today I'm going to discuss this new matchmaking system that they have. It's a great improvement in some ways. In ways of functionality it's a great improvement. It's very nice that you can choose your roles. It's odd that they made it this way. I guess it's just slightly quirky. Why didn't they just make all 5 roles here and then you can check and uncheck them? That would have been way simpler than having 2 of those spheres, but that's not the main issue. I mean, yes, I guess it would be also an issue, but there's some much larger issues here. I'm afraid that there are far too many design choices here that are not made for players. They're made by artists to make themselves feel good, but they really don't help the player in any way. If you look at this, if you look at this animation at the start of this animation, it's very impressive, right? Someone must really be proud of this, and they should be ashamed of themselves because it's like a 5 seconds animation that happens every single time. What a waste of time. I mean, it already takes like 10 minutes to get into a game, so you're gonna add 5 more seconds for every dodge? Horrible. And then this next issue here, right? Look at this. Why is this so big? 5 champions in a row. If I had more champions, this scroll would be so tiny. I would have to scroll all the way down. The only way to use this is to type your champion in, unless you, like me, have bought limited champions so you can actually still handle it. But it is completely ridiculous that they would have made it that way. Previously they had like 10 or 8 champions in one row, and I could have all of my champions without scrolling. And now I have to scroll, and other people will have to scroll all the way down, or just type the name, I guess. But come on, surely clicking on the pictures is better than typing the name every time. The other issue would be the banning system. I mean, it's great that everyone gets a ban. I love that idea, but the fact that you get thrown out of the queue for not banning is just completely ridiculous. Here's someone who doesn't want to limit the other players' choices in champions, and he gets kicked out. Why? Besides, there's already 100 champions, so you're not going to please anyone with your bans. The bans are purely for yourself. Yeah, see, look at that. Someone got thrown out because of a ban. Amazing. Just, yeah, more waste of time. Come on. Who cares? One less ban. Good. More choice of champions. Good thing. Yes, it is. It might be a minor complaint, but well, no, actually it is a massive complaint if you think about it. Our time is clearly not valued here. If they think they can restart the queue every single time someone misses a ban, and then these bans, you don't even know when they're gonna happen, unless, I mean, you don't know how long the guys before you wait. Ideally you would only have to wait the limited amount of time, right? So ideally you would click on the queue. Oh, see, there's the 5 seconds animation again. You would click on the queue, then you would be able to do things, then you would click on your role, and then you wait a little longer and you should be in the game. That's how it should be, but it's not. It's you gotta look when is my turn to ban, then you have to be right there and ban. You can't even select. Why can't all people ban at the same time, for example? How detrimental would that be if everyone was to ban at the same time? I mean, come on. What a massive waste of time is it that everyone will be banning at the same time? I don't know if there's going to be any massive difference in some kind of pro tournament where it is very vital to make the bans. But then again, what would be the downside if all the teams would have the bans at the same time? How is that a problem? I mean, sure, they would be buying the same champion and they'd have to ban again. Okay, I see it now, but well, actually no, just make those bans void. Actually, what's the issue if 2 teams ban the same champions, then they've both got that champion banned. There's no reason to make this ridiculous waiting ceremony here where everyone has to wait on everyone's turn twice. Yeah, so those are my complaints with this system. Oh yeah, the other thing, of course, is the chat. Look how tiny the chat is. You have this whole area in the center, completely garbage. I know it's very impressive how they slice through that card. No, it's worthless. It's a waste of space. Bad design at its best. Just why? So here's the chat, right? I guess now that everyone has their role, there's no more point in the chat even being there. So no, I mean there's not much to say now unless you want to trade with a role, but usually the chat is now is now empty half of the time. But if I want to talk to someone in my friends list, look where it pops up, in the exact same spot as the regular chat. So I have to pick now between talking to him or talking to my friend. So are you sure you couldn't have found any other place for this chat to be? And also, why is it so fucking tiny? There's so much space, and the chat has to be this tiny. I don't need a giant, massive icon of my summoner spells. I know what summoner spells are. I know what they do. I know what they look like in small. I don't need to know what they look like in big. And even then, they could be here, right? I mean, there's space for them to be bigger there. Oh, and not to mention the fact that previously you were able to click on champions, you see, and then the thing will pop up, and you could click on the abilities of the champions and their skins and all that stuff. They removed that now too. So if I was a noob, right? Who's this champ? Who's this champ? I don't know. I can't click on them. I can't find anything out about them unless I go outside and look on the internet, which is better of course anyways, because the information on here is usually not really important anyways. But yeah, it would be. I don't know why they removed that. That was a good feature. I mean, I know it popped up and it took up space, and sometimes you'd forget that there's matchmaking going on behind it, but basically you want to be passing time here anyways, because this is all boring shit, do you see? No one cares about this. No one is very interested in seeing what other people cycle through before they lock in. What you want to look at is what the other champions have, what they are already. You don't want to be looking at what they're considering, contemplating to pick. So yeah, these are all the things that have gone missing now, haven't they? And that's a bit odd. A lot of design has gone into wasting time and space, screen space and time of things. So yeah, that's a tragedy that such a good system comes with such a shitty design. Oh well, I hope they will change it, but they clearly won't, because they spend all this effort on these horrible animations. Alright, subscribe for more opinions. Goodbye.